Hey, this is Matt once again. What about seeing the videos of the paid request? It's time for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the film Colors from 1988, which stars Sean Penn, Robert Duvall. You got a lot of, not a lot, but you got some recognizable people in the supporting cast. Marita Conchita Alonso, who will later be in The Running Man, Predator 2, Don Cheadle, who of course will later be in Iron Man 2, among many other films. Damon Wayans has a bit part in this. Glenn Plummer, which he was in the film Speed. He's the guy that Keanu Reeves takes his car to get onto the bus. And it's directed by Dennis Hopper. I think this was the first film he directed since Easy Rider. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But this film made a bit of a splash when it came out. Because this is a time when Danes are still a problem nowadays. But not nearly as much as it was back then. The Crips, the Bloods, Latino Danes. I mean, it's still dangerous today, but back then it was just... That's why there were a lot of movies about that subject material. Because it was going haywire. And LA seemed like they were ready to explode because of all that stuff going on. And there's even text coming down about the Danes of LA and how many die per year and how many crimes per year. There's a text going up. I guess when this came out, they had to have police officers at theaters for fear that there'd be some kind of retaliation, just some kind of issue where I don't know if Gaines would buy a ticket. I think one gang member died while he's in line waiting for a ticket to see this film. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Sean Penn is the rookie cop. Robert Duvall is the cop that is going to retire in a little bit. And this is about the C.R.A.S.H unit, the Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums. I don't know if that's a real unit or they just made that up for the movie, but that's what they say. And it's pretty much Robert Duvall being assigned this partner. He's back on the streets. People kind of respect Robert Duvall because he gives them a second chance. He takes it a bit easier, while Sean Penn is more of the hothead, more trying to be a bit violent, not trying to sugarcoat things. But that gets him a bit of trouble where people, they don't respect him, they dislike him more and more. And it's pretty much them on patrol throughout the smattering of days while these incidents keep happening between these two gangs. Well, more than two gangs, multiple gangs. For example, Don Cheadle with his group, including Damon Wayans, who's getting high and stoned. They do a drive-by and they shoot and kill some people. Later on, there's a funeral for that person, and yet again, they drive by and they shoot up the funeral. And amongst it, again, it's Robert Duvall showing Sean Penn the ropes, trying to give him a little piece of advice. He tells one story about the bulls, how there's two bulls, the younger and the older, and they see a bunch of cows, and the younger says, "Let's run down there and fuck that cow." And the older bull goes, "No. Let's walk down there and fuck them all." The point being, don't go rushing in. Okay, you did one guy, fine, for barely anything. But if you play it easy, you get them to trust you a little bit. Maybe you'll get informants, people who trust you. You get a lot more. Just like there's a bit early on where Sean Penn chases a guy, slams on the hood, but then Robert Duvall's like, you know what? There's a warning. But remember, you owe me one. Okay, what I say? You owe me one. So Sean Penn gets exasperated. It's supposed to be my collar. While Robert Duvall is saying, well, you don't know shit. Pretty much. So it was cool to see these actors. You got Sean Penn and Robert Duvall are great actors. I love Robert Duvall. He's great in films like Days of Thunder, this movie. He definitely shares a certain fatherly warmth. No, warmth, that's the wrong term, warmth. Because I want to say he's doing his best to deal with Sean Penn. But warmth in the... I say warmth not in terms of dealing with Sean Penn, like he's putting up with Sean Penn, but and dealing with the other gang members where he's trying to give them a chance. Like there's a bit where Roger throwing at their car. He's cool with them. Who threw that rock, huh? He's cool with the guy who's like the head Latino guy, and oh, was it you? And the guy's like, oh, come over here, we'll kick your ass. Now, this is not an action film. You're expecting an action film. There's a decent car chase. After the funeral drive-by and Sean Penn and Robert Duvall chase after these guys in their car. Decent car chase. You get a couple foot chases. But again, if you're expecting a wham bam, thank you ma'am, shooting a lot of shit type of action, that's not the case. But it's trying to tell about the ferocious nature of the gangs and what was going on at the time. And it was nice to see all the familiar faces like Don Cheadle. Damon Wayans, it's nice to see him, but at the same time, I did not like his performance because he felt like it was an In Living Color sketch. Did he talk like this? Did he talk? Hey there, my name is... I can't remember this character's name. But he talking like this, and yeah, he's stoned, and I don't know, man, man. Again, it's so goofy, and it's so silly, it belongs in an In Living Color sketch. This is not like Chris Rock in New Jack City, who was able to handle that and not seem goofy. Here, it might as well be Marlon Wayans and fucking Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. In fact, part of me wonders if he saw David Wayans in this and said, I'm going to mimic my brother. But that's meant to be comedy. Let's see. Maria Chichilla Alonso is this girl who Sean Penn falls for. But, some of her relatives are with the Danes. And there's a moment where Sean Penn, being more hot-headed and not playing it cool, there's a kid doing graffiti, sprays him in the eyes with it, and Maria Conchita Alonso says, well, that was my cousin. Oh, you think it's funny? Hey, well, you know what he was doing? He was spraying a name out. You know what that means? That means they don't kill someone. But they break apart because they're from two different worlds, and she wants none of his shit. Oh, another recognizable person who sadly is not in the film much, there's an assembly where people in the neighborhood are talking with other people. And one of them is Tony Todd. And you see Tony Todd getting pissed. And the organizers getting pissed. Fuck you. No, fuck you. So it was great to see. I wish Tony Todd was in the film more. He's only in that one bit. I would say overall, before I get into the film, more into the film, I did like it for what it was. I thought Dennis Hopper definitely gave a certain... I don't know if I want to say legitimacy because I've never been in that situation. I don't live in LA. I can't really say I've been to LA ever. There's a brief bit where... I think the family went to Disneyland, but that's not being in LA like this LA. So, no, I haven't been in LA. So I don't know how it was with the gains and stuff. So they could look at this and go, oh, this is bullshit or unrealistic. But as far as I know, it feels like a certain legitimacy to the stuff going on. You got very capable actors. Robert Duvall, he's trying to play it cool, but he's not someone to be you to walk over. To Sean Penn, he's doing things like punching people and stuff. And there's a bit where Robert Duvall confronts him on it. He says, "You think I'm not crazy? Try to try me, you fuck." Well, what's your problem? Oh yeah, you got problems the whole fucking world, and I'm in it, and I don't like it. I do like Robert Duvall quite a bit in it. He's definitely my favorite performance in the movie. I do like that line. Yeah, you got problems with the whole fucking world, and I'm in it, and I don't like it. And of course, when he confronts Sean Penn, then Sean Penn's like, "Hey, Uncle Bob," like he loses a bit of that attitude real quick, real fucking quick. And he's been nicknamed Pac-Man because after they screwed up the car and this car chase, where they did, the other car flipped and burnt up, but their car flipped. Well, they get a new car, it's a yellow car, so they keep calling him Pac-Man. Like I say, it's more of just sort of the series of events happening throughout this smattering of days. It doesn't go with the typical buddy cop formula where you think, okay, they're going to be buddies. Not really. Which I thought was kind of refreshing. Spoiler. Spoilers from here on out. Because there's a point where Sean Penn is working out. I forget the song that he's worked it out to. I recognize the song, though. I do remember liking the song. Damn it, I forgot what it was called, though. But he's working out, and Robert Duvall says, well, at the first of the month, we'll be having different partners. Hey, it's like a marriage. If you know it's not working, how marriages fall apart because they try to stick it together. No, we're just going to go apart, and it's best to just do it that way. Well, okay, that's refreshing because usually it's they're mad at each other, but then they become best friends, and then they become cohorts and buddies. No, by the end it seems like they're going to split apart. And the back end of the plot is to find these gangs that are doing these drive-bys, in particular Don Cheadle's group. At one point they think they found him, but it's not. And this other cop shoots the guy, but Sean Penn's blamed for it. Which, the way it's positioned, I don't know how she doesn't realize it's the other guy. It looks like she's staring right at it, and right at Sean Penn. And you can tell that he's not the one who did it, but I guess because of his reputation, he gets blamed. So now they want to try to kill him. Like I say, it's one of those films that I don't mind it. I liked it. I don't know why I don't like it more than I should. And sometimes there are movies where I just can't really put into words why I don't like it more than I should. I like it. Would I watch the film again? Maybe. Like, not rushing out to see it again, but I'd be open to, yeah. But I don't know what it is. It's just maybe just throughout the years have been movies not like the exactly like this, but the Narc, Training Day, other movies that maybe while the plots are different, how they take this type of cop thing more serious than Lethal Weapon or a buddy cop Tango and Cash. Maybe that's more my forte, the more fun buddy cop type of movie. Maybe because you look at how cops are looked at nowadays, so some of the roughness with criminals are a bit close to home. But you do have some decent cops like Robert Duvall in there. Maybe because also spoilers, like again, I did appreciate it because it makes it seem perhaps more realistic and not Hollywood typical bit of business. Where the audience, the typical one, it'd be Don Cheadle. It'd be Sean Penn and Robert Duvall finding Don Cheadle's gang, and it'd be a shootout between those two. Either Sean Penn or Duvall. Maybe Sean Penn will take out Don Cheadle. No, it's the two Deans. One's tired what the other's doing. They find their hideout. They shoot the shit out of Don Cheadle's men. Don Cheadle and I think it's Glenn Plummer. They shoot each other. They kill each other, which happens a lot. So that seems a bit more realistic that would happen. But our lead heroes are kind of not in the midst of it, if you want to call them heroes. But again, that's what it's going for. So I do get and appreciate that. Then the ending of the film is that group are getting arrested by the cops. But then this Latino guy, which I think he's the one that's now with Maria Conchita Alonso, I believe. He tries to hit Sean Penn, but misses, or just a shit shot, and hits Robert Duvall. And Robert Duvall gets shot. He's like, just need to catch my breath. You see that it went through his vest, so it must be a really shitty. It looked like he had a bulletproof vest on, but I guess it went through. So it didn't. Was it a shitty bulletproof vest? Maybe. And just once in a while it does happen, to be fair. And he dies. And then it cuts to Sean Penn taking a new partner who's a lot like who's him back to the day. I say back to the day, for all I know it's a week later, I don't know. Who's more of a hothead while Sean Penn's trying to be more sensible one. He even tries to tell that bull story. He's trying to get it right. He keeps messing it up until he does get it right, and his partner's like, yeah, okay. So it's been full circle. Now Sean Penn he's thinking a bit more like Robert Duvall's character. Now, granted, I didn't want Robert Duvall to get killed. In fact, a part of me would have preferred if Sean Penn's character got killed. And so, because, okay, Robert Duvall is the guy who knows the streets more. He's the guy who's more knowledgeable. He's the guy that was cooler with the hoodlums. So, in a way, it's kind of like his teaching fell on the deaf ears. Because we need more cops like Robert Duvall. We need less cops like Sean Penn. So, as soon as he's learning, boom, he gets killed. And maybe the last bit is that Robert Duvall's with another younger hothead partner. And he only has a couple days left. And he's hoping that this guy will learn more than the last one. He's hoping that when he retires, somehow he's going to leave, this area to cops that will be thinking a bit more like him. But there's that possible hopelessness that maybe that won't be. I'll be retired, but even with I'm retired, who am I leaving the streets to? Maybe a little bit more of that dynamic with Sean Penn also, with you're being a violent cop, but will those lead to be more of a hypocritical cop and more of a cops that give them a bad name like nowadays. There are cops that give them the rest of the cops a bad name. But I get why they did this. I'm just saying because Robert Duvall was my favorite character. I hate that he's the one that dies, but that's probably the point. The make it hit more. But I don't know. That's just my own preference. But I think Dennis Hopper did a really good job establishing the vibe of the game environment and how these community help centers seem fairly pointless or useless, and how cops, some of them make it a bit worse than they need it to be. I also like the Ice-T did a song for the movie Colors. Colors, colors, colors. Days of LA will never die. We multiply. Just Ice-T, I mean, Ice-T's Ice-T. He rocks. So, nice to have a song from him on the soundtrack. Surprised he wasn't in the movie. Maybe they didn't find room for him, or they didn't think of it. Of course, he will later be in New Jack City later on. So it's definitely a movie worthwhile to watch. If you like movies like Narc and Training Day and those type of, and to watch like those films, those type of cop movies, I think they all, whether they admit or not, need to have a little nod to Colors, which was before that. I think that's the best way to say this is a predecessor to Training Day, and to watch Narc. There's other movies; those are ones I keep thinking of. To give the respect where it's due, that Colors did, especially the time where it's kind of dangerous to make this kind of movie, but they had something to say. And yes, there's many movies about killing gangs like Class of '84 and Death Wish 3 and stuff, but this is more of a serious take on it. So it's definitely worthwhile film. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.